Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be setting up my cash envelope for the rest of the year. This is for the ending of the year when I usually try and save for holidays and additional expenses. Now in this video, we will be specifically talking about my cash envelope. If you want to see my entire sinking fund saving process, I did do a class yesterday. I will link it above just in case you missed that class and you want to go more in depth on what are sinking funds, what are the different ways that I will save money, and how they are all set up. But in today's video, we are specifically talking about my cash sinking funds and how I save them and the categories that I save for in cash. So let's go ahead and get started. I do have my cash saving envelope right now. Currently inside, we do have my back to school savings tracker. This was all that I was saving for like the past 2 months or so. And so now that back to school is over, we are about to set it up for the rest of the year. I use my cash saving in order to save for expenses that are coming up within the next couple of months. These are not expenses that are going to be next year or the year after. They are happening this year, which is why I usually just like to save for them in cash. This is not something that I would put aside in a high yield savings account, mainly because I'm just going to need the money too soon. It's only going to be a couple of months and I wouldn't really make any interest off of this money. I have a long-term savings account which is set up in a high yield savings account, and I do make interest off of that money because it's a large sum and it is sitting in a separate account. However, with this, I'm going to need the money soon, so I like to save it in cash. So let's talk about the different categories that I usually will save in cash. The very first one I already shared, which is back to school. My back to school expenses, I usually will start saving a month or two before school starts, and this will help me with their school supplies, their hair expenses that we usually have to cover, uniforms, and any additional school expenses. I know for my kids, they also have expenses like PE uniforms and school activities. So all of that is included in my back to school savings envelope. And so if you look at the tracker, that's exactly what I did. I would deposit into this envelope every single time I had any extra money on hand. And then anytime I spent out of this envelope, I wrote it in red. And so it was for uniforms, hair, supplies from Walmart. I also got them braids. So all of that is included in here. So that is the very first category. The second category where I will save in cash is for upcoming travel. Now this does not include airfare. I do have a Southwest card and I usually will pay for airfare with my points, but it will include additional expenses like food costs, Uber, shopping, and entertainment. So we're talking about anything that I would like to do while I am traveling. Usually I will save some cash in order to prepare for the trip. Now I don't always use the cash on the trip. Sometimes I do deposit it and then I will just use my credit card while I am out there. But I do like to start to save for the specific trip so that I don't have a credit card bill when I return. The next sinking fund that I like to save for toward the end of the year is for Christmas. Now for Christmas, we like to start to save for gifts that we have to purchase, decorations, and food because we usually are the hosts of Christmas dinner. So I like to prepare for all of that. And so that is usually in my cash saving envelope toward the end of the year. And I will do an additional envelope for other holidays. Additional holidays could include Thanksgiving, upcoming birthday. My daughter's birthday is actually in January, and I do have to save in addition to Christmas because they're like one right behind the other. And so in the past, I would do so much for Christmas that when her birthday was coming up, I felt like it was really, really hard on our budget. So now I try and save for them separately. Instead of making them all holidays, I will save for Christmas and then save for additional holidays that we have coming up. And the last one that I will save for for is unexpected. I always like to have a miscellaneous savings and unexpected savings just because you never know. And I promise you, every single time something really random comes up, I am really happy that I have this envelope. So for my unexpected, it is literally for anything else that could possibly come up that doesn't fall under this category, or I don't have enough saved. So let's say I have some upcoming travel and I do have money saved, but it's not enough. I will pull from this unexpected envelope in order to help me fund all the things that I need for travel. So that is how I will use that one. There aren't really any descriptions underneath other than it's there to cover anything else that could possibly come up. So these are the 5 categories that we are going to be saving for the rest of the year. And I already have my cash envelope here. And I am going to pull out the back to school one because we are currently no longer saving for that. We're done with that because the first day of school has already passed. So I am going to take this out. I'm also going to take out the receipts because they relate to that tracker and the cash. We have about $16 here. We have $16 here that is ready for my next cash envelope. So what I'm going to do is put my trackers in order of what I am expecting to need money for first. So the very first category is my travel category. I have some upcoming travel coming up at the end of September. So we are going to add in this $16 here, and we are going to take it out. I'm going to write in that I put it to travel, so that I know this tracker is done. I move the money over to my travel envelope, and then I can put this up in my budget planner because that's what I usually will do. And then we are going to put a deposit in this one for $16. So now we have our first cash envelope, which is going to be travel, and we have the $16 there. After that, the very next one that I am going to be saving for is for other holidays. So other holidays is Thanksgiving, birthdays. These are just additional things that are coming up, but Thanksgiving will be the very next holiday that I'm going to be saving for. So I'm going to mark off any savings that I have in this one. After that, we're going to add in my Christmas tracker. This is another one that I am going to be saving for these specific expenses for gifts, decorations, and food. And so I'm just going to mark off whenever I make a deposit there. And then the very last one is my unexpected tracker. My unexpected envelope is, like I said, for anything miscellaneous that is coming up. And so now all of my trackers are in, and I am set and ready for the rest of the year. So how I like to use this is I will usually save about $20 per envelope every single time I get paid. So usually I am pulling out $100 to $150 out of the ATM. It just depends on how much I believe I can spare that particular check. And then I will divide it up and I will fund the most into my travel envelope, since that's the one that's coming up next. But I will also put a little bit into each of these other ones until it is their turn. So usually that looks like $50 going into travel, and then it might be $10, $15, $20 going into the other envelopes. That is how I am setting up my cash envelopes for the end of the year. You let me know in the comments below what are your categories for the rest of the year and how you are setting up your cash envelopes. I will see you all in my next video, and until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.